Welcome. I'm Kim, coming to you from the beautiful Dominican Republic. Thank you for joining me for our yoga practice this morning that I believe will help to instill confidence. Have you ever felt those times where you just felt a little unsure of yourself, maybe unsure of what's going on in your body, or maybe unsure of how you're feeling inside? I've been there too, and by practicing yoga, it helps to make me feel more grounded, more aware, and more certain of moving throughout my day. So please join me in this practice by coming into mountain to begin. So mountain pose, we bring our feet parallel and begin to shift your weight from the balls of your feet to your heels, just beginning to find the centers of your soles. And then we'll shift our weight from right foot to left foot. Again, just working on finding that sweet spot in the middle, that equilibrium. From there, draw your 10 toes up for a moment, feel your kneecaps lift, your legs fire up, confidently standing proud. Turn your palms to face forward, feel a broadening across your chest, and take a few moments here as we arrive into mountain pose. Just a wonderful posture that helps us to feel and remember that we are grounded with the earth under our feet, and that if the top of our head was like the top of a mountain, we'd feel surrounded by blue sky, by space. Let's place one hand on belly and one hand on heart and begin to find the rhythm of your breath and find the rhythm of your heart beating, giving yourself permission to smooth out your rhythms. If you'd like, feel free to close your eyes for the next 5 breaths or softly gaze down at a focal point on the floor. Maybe you'd like to set an intention or a prayer for your practice this morning, perhaps around this idea of increasing our confidence. And blink your eyes open. Let's begin by creating some space in our shoulders, simply by drawing our right shoulder up. Your elbow is bent. Let your head follow your elbow as you roll it back and down. And we'll slowly do that from side to side. Inhale, lifting left elbow up. Let your gaze follow your elbow. So it's an easy flowing twist. You'll feel that in your rib cage, in your chest, in your shoulders likely. These areas get really tight from a lot of sitting that we do, driving, computer work. And when we get more space in our bodies, we move with more ease, with more confidence. We simply feel better. Just taking a few more at your pace, always moving with safety in mind. For our practice today, you'll always want to have water. We want to stay hydrated. And have a strap nearby and a chair. Let's take one more each side of these yummy shoulder rolls. I'm feeling more spacious in my chest already. Alright, beautiful. Draw your ear to your right shoulder and taking your right hand, gently stretch your neck towards your shoulder. You've got an option as well as reaching your opposite arm out to the side with your thumb face up to the sky. Stretch your fingers nice and wide. Let your teeth part so you can get that stretch all the way from your shoulder into your neck and into your jaw. A few more breaths. Take your bottom hand, press your head back up to center, and let's take it the other side. Dropping your ear to your shoulder, your hand gently stretching your neck. You've got that option to reach your right arm out to the side, thumb face up. Stretch your fingers wide like a starfish. And allow your teeth to be parted so you get some space into your jaw. A few more big breaths here. And take your bottom hand, press your head back up to center. Wonderful. Step your foot out to the side, turn your foot out so it's facing the front of your mat, and bring your hand to your knee as you bend your front leg. Let's get a lateral stretch. Every day our ribs get compressed, so we want to create some space here. So bringing your arm out to the side, thumb face up. If it's available to you, maybe reaching your arm up a little bit more like a W shape. And if you feel particularly comfortable with your shoulders, your arm could reach up toward the sky or even overhead. But again, that's only if you feel totally safe in your shoulders. Now, your back is smoothed out like it's flat against a wall. Take 5 more breaths. Keep pressing into your back foot, feeling this opening in your rib cage. And keep length in your bottom rib cage as well. Take your top hand to your hip, straighten your front leg, pivot your foot, and let's take the other side. Pivot your back foot out, bending into that knee, your hand on your knee. Keep your shoulder blades even, stacked, and then reach your arm out to the side. You don't have to, you could always keep your hand right here. But if you're reaching out, your thumb is up. Maybe you're taking it into a W shape so you can begin to feel that side stretch. Getting some spaciousness between each rib. Maybe reaching overhead if that's available to you. So always come back to your breath. It's so easy to forget to take some full breaths, and we find the shallow breathing. And when we're breathing shallowly, it can make us hyperventilate at times. It doesn't allow us to have as much clarity with thought. And clarity with thought helps us with our confidence too. One more breath. All right, turn your toes in, walk your feet a little bit closer. Taking this into a flowing twist now. So reaching your arms up to the sky, and then as you exhale, look to your back hand as you twist. Flex your hands. Inhale, reach up to the sky. As you twist, softly bend your knees, look to your back hand, and press. Do that a few times. Inhale, stretch skyward. Exhale, gently twisting. Inhale, up. As you twist, keep your chest lifted, spine nice and long. Next time we twist, stay there for 3 big breaths. Again, look to your back hand. Flex your hands like you're pushing something away from you. Navel drawn to spine. And last one, reaching up to the sky and twisting. Keep your chest lifted, your collarbones nice and broad. And bring your arms down by your side. Shake out your hands, shake out your feet. Just get some space in those joints. This one looks a little similar to our last twist, but a little bit of a twist on it, no pun intended. So both arms start right out in front, and you're going to swing your left arm back as you take a look at it, and then bring it forward. Swinging right arm back, and bring it forward. So let your gaze follow your back arm. As you swing your arm back, your knees bend, and then straighten. Standing up nice and tall and confidently. Just a few more, flowing with ease. Having more strength, ease, and balance in our body. All of these things help us to flow more confidently through life. All right, changing this pattern up just a little bit with both arms forward. You're going to stretch your left arm back like you're pulling back a bow and arrow. And then bring it forward. And we're simply going to switch, drawing that right arm back, keep your elbow high, and take it forward. So we're working our shoulders, our upper arms, our back muscles. We need this upper body strength. We're doing a lot of upper body strength today in our practice. That helps us to walk more confidently. And when we're strong in our bodies, our minds follow suit. We have more clarity. More confidence in making decisions and choices. Let's take a few more. Just pulling back this bow and arrow. Feel your muscles between your shoulder blades contract. Activate. One more each side. Oh, I don't know about you, but my arms are feeling stronger already. Let's move into a flow posture in yoga that we call Sun Salutations A. We'll then move into some warrior poses to keep increasing that confidence. So let me turn my chair around. Alright, so let's begin with Sun A. Inhale, sweep your arms up to the sky. Exhale, bend your knees, hands on your knees. Lift your heart, and then let's step it back to a modified downward facing dog. Keep a soft bend in your knees as you reach your hips back, stretching back. Stepping right foot forward, ground your back foot so your heel is down, pressing into the knife edge of your foot. Hands come to your hips. Your hips are facing forward, so they're square. Now you're welcome to keep your hands on your hips or take your arms out to the side with your fingers up, or even goal post your arms, maybe like a little W. So you probably will begin to feel this back bend. They're energizing. And energizing poses always inspire confidence. Take a few more breaths, lift your heart, broaden across your chest. Can you feel that in your shoulders and chest? Keep drawing your navel to spine. Soft bend in that front knee. All right, bring your hands back to your hips. We'll move straight from Warrior One into a pose called Revolved Triangle. So staying with your feet where they are, you'll bring your left hand onto the chair. Begin to straighten your front leg any amount. You'll keep a soft bend in that knee, turning to your right, and maybe you reach that right arm up to the sky. So both legs are engaged. Take a few breaths. And bring that hand back down to the mat. Step your back foot up to your front foot and make some big hula hoops. How did that feel in your body? It's usually a very inspiring flow where it wakes us up, gives us that good energy. All right, so we did one side. Let's go ahead and take the other. Inhale, sweep your arms up toward the sun. Exhale, bend your knees, hands on your thighs. Take a half lift, lifting your heart, and exhale, step back to downward facing dog. Spine is nice and long, stretching the back of your legs. This time we'll step our left foot forward for Warrior One. Ground through that back foot. So if you're using a yoga mat, your right toes would face the upper right corner of your mat right now. Shoulders over hips, and you're welcome to keep your hands right here on your hips. Or option two, take your arms out into a T, or maybe you goal post or make a W shape with your arms to enhance that back bend a little bit more. So if you were to look down beyond your bent knee, you would see your big toe, so knee is tracking toward pinky. Take a few more breaths here in Virabhadrasana 1. So sometimes I throw in the Sanskrit. It's the ancient language of yoga. It's kind of fun to learn a new language, isn't it? Beautiful. Let's get ready for our Revolved Triangle. So taking your right hand to the chair, beginning to straighten your front leg a little bit as you draw your left hip back. Beginning to turn to your left. You can stay right here. It doesn't need to be much of a twist. And if it's available, reaching your arm out to the side or up to the sky. Keep lengthening both sides of your ribs. In Parvrita Trikonasana, Revolved Triangle. The word asana means pose. Kind of fun to know that. So Trikonasana means triangle pose. It's as simple as that. All right, take that back hand to your hip, bend your front knee, step your back foot up, and make some hula hoop circles again, just releasing your joints after the strong poses that you just did. All right, let's move into a couple more standing balance poses here. This first one is tree. So standing next to your chair, you'll want to root into your leg that is next to your chair. Your other foot can come to your ankle, it could come to your calf, or it could come to your thigh. It really doesn't matter. Your knee will go out to the side, and check that your hips feel level. Sometimes we hike a hip up, but we want level hips. And just avoid putting your knee or your foot on your knee, because that is not good for our joints. So you can keep your hand on your hip for tree pose, or maybe you'd like to place one hand as if it was a prayer at your heart, or reach your arm out to the side with your thumb up, or maybe a little W shape, like your branches are reaching up to the sun. So as we explore tree pose, it reminds us to let our roots grow deep. So imagine roots growing from the bottom of your foot down into the center of the earth, helping to anchor you. And when we feel more anchored, we feel more confident. And if you're feeling particularly balanced today and you want to play with taking your branches up, feel free to do that for a few more breaths in tree pose, Vrikshasana, tree pose. And bring your hands to prayer, lower your leg, just shake out your hips. Can you hear those birds? They're having so much fun playing just above me. Let's take the other side. So grounding into your opposite leg, placing your foot at your ankle, your calf, or your thigh, just avoiding your knee. And you're welcome to keep your hand on your chair. Maybe you reach your opposite arm up to the sky. And check that your hips not poking out to the side. We really want to hug our hips in, hug our ribs in, draw navel in. So all of that hugging in action helps us to balance. It helps our core to stay strong. And when we feel stronger, we feel more confident. A few more breaths in tree pose. And coming back down slowly, moving into chair pose. So in chair pose, our weight is going to be in our heels and we sit back like we're sitting right into a chair, keeping our spine long, our chest lifted. Your navel keeps drawing to spine, and you're welcome to stay here with prayer hands right at your heart. Or you can reach your arms out to the sides with thumbs up. Might increase the back bend energy just a little bit more, and recalling that whenever we do a back bend, no matter how subtle, it increases our energy, our vitality. And I don't know about you, but I'll take a little bit more vitality. Take a few more breaths in chair pose. No weight in your toes. And coming up, shake it out, shake it out. This next standing balance pose is called Warrior 3. So we've done Warrior 1, we're going to do Warrior 2 in a moment, but first let's do Warrior 3. So let's have the chair for our balance here, and hips are facing the chair, and I'm going to step back and start to shift your weight into your right leg. Your left toes will come to the earth, and you could stay right here. This might feel really comfortable and confident with your toes on the earth. Option 2 is to take your leg up to the sky, squaring your hips, and flex your back foot. So if you look at my foot, you can see that my 5 toes are facing down. So see if you can point your toes down to the earth, keep your hips square, push through your heel. Woo, can you feel how much is going on there? There's a lot. You might like some tiny little pulses, squeezing, working your glute muscles. Relax your shoulders, your face. Just a few more in Warrior 3, Virabhadrasana 3. All right, step it forward, rock out your hips, and we'll take the other side. Walking back, holding on to the edges of your chair with your left foot down, taking your right foot back. Your toes can always stay on that mat because you're already balancing right there. Can you tell? Whenever we've got our weight shifted into one leg, that's already working on balance. Second option is to float your foot off the floor. Keep your hips square, Point your 5 toes down and really push through your heel. And check that your left knee has a soft bend in it. So we don't want to hyperextend our joints. Perhaps you like a little pulsing if your leg is floating in the air to work those glutes. Wonderful. Walk your feet forward, rock it out. We've got a couple more standing poses to inspire and build confidence. Then we'll come down to the floor for some deeper stretches before we finish our practice today. Remember to hydrate, so I'm going to take a sip of water and invite you to do the same. Warrior 2 pose is next, followed by triangle pose. So take your feet a little wider than your hips, turn your left toes out toward your chair, and then bend into that front knee. So like earlier, when we looked down past our knee, we could see our big toe. So check that that's the case. Your back leg is strong and straight. And your shoulders are over your hips. See if your hips feel even and level. From there, perhaps you'd like to take your arms out to the sides, thumbs up to keep our collarbones broad, chest open, and then gazing over your front thumb. Maybe you want to bend into that front knee, press into your back foot a little bit more for 5 breaths. This is Warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2. So we've done all our warriors today. Warrior 1, Warrior 2, and Warrior 3. Warrior poses instill courage and confidence. Alright, moving right into triangle pose. Begin to straighten your front leg and then bringing your front hand to your chair. Keep your side nice and long. Now you might have your chair turned around so that you're a little bit higher. That's totally fine. Imagine your back is against a wall so your shoulder blades are stacked. Your top hand can stay on your hip, or maybe you stretch it out to the side or even up to the sky if your shoulder feels fine with that. Keep drawing your bottom hip under and your top hip back. If you're reaching, reach really strongly so that every muscle is working, building that confidence and strength. 3 more breaths. Bend your front knee and turn your toes to face each other. Walk your feet in, and let's take that same sequence on the other side. So standing with your feet wide once again, turn your foot so that your toes are just under the edge of your chair and bending into that front knee. So your back toes are angled just ever so slightly. For the most part, we have heel to arch alignment in Warrior 2. Now, you might notice if your one hip is hiked up. If it is, see if you can level your hips. And again, they're right under your shoulders. Draw your arms up to shoulder height, thumbs up. Draw your belly button to spine. I like to say, pretend you're zipping up a pair of pants. Kind of get that feeling of core engagement as we do that. So you might like to gaze over your front fingers, take a few breaths in Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. And let's make our way into triangle pose. Begin to straighten that front leg, back hand on your hip. As your hand comes to the chair, either the seat or the top of the chair, draw your top shoulder back. You might like to keep your hand on your hip, or option 2 would be reaching your arm out to the side, thumb up, or up to the sky, whichever is available to you. Keep a soft bend in your front knee to avoid that hyperextending. You could look up, you could look neutral, you could look down, just avoid your head dropping. 3 more big poses in Trikonasana, triangle pose. Remembering that asana means pose, so Trikonasana, triangle pose. A little education for our brains today. Bend into that front knee and step your back foot up to your front foot. Let's make our way onto the chair for a couple stretches here. And let's have our strap, or you might like to have a belt handy for this pose. And actually, I'm going to stand up, but feel free to sit into the chair. to do this pose, but I think you'll see the camera better with me standing. So holding the strap in right hand, you're going to hold the strap behind you and take the strap with your left hand. So your right elbow is face up to the sky and your left hand is reaching for that strap. Eventually, maybe your hands are walking a little bit closer. So taking a few breaths here. You could be standing like me or you could sit in a chair. This has got a funny name called cow face arms. I have no idea how it got called cow face, but it's a great stretch for triceps and shoulders. You can tell we've done a lot of upper body strength and stretch today. All right, let's switch it out. So taking the strap into your left hand, placing your elbow by your side, and reaching for the strap with your right hand, drawing your hands a little bit closer. Keep that top elbow facing up toward the sky. Draw your belly in, even if you're seated, right here. Keep drawing your belly in, sit up nice and tall. 2 more breaths. All right, you can place the strap to your side now. We'll finish off with a couple postures in our chair before we finish today. So let's go ahead and draw our right knee up to our chest. So we're not rounding forward toward our knee. We're sitting up nice and tall and drawing our knee in. It doesn't matter how far it comes in. You might feel that in your hip flexor, where your thigh bone meets your hip. You might feel a little spaciousness. See if you can roll your shoulders back and down. And from here, let's go into seated pigeon, bringing your ankle onto your knee and root both of your sitting bones, so feel equally balanced. And you can stay upright, or maybe you come forward just a tiny bit. Spine still long. Some people find that they may even want to bring their elbows onto their knee and ankle, only if you can keep your spine long. A few more breaths. And press away from your knee, bring your foot to the mat, and let's switch sides. Drawing your left knee in, again sitting up nice and tall. Breathing into this hip stretch. And taking seated pigeon, bringing your ankle onto your knee, sitting up tall. Maybe you want to lean forward just a little bit. Or perhaps elbows coming to knee and ankle as long as your back is straight. And sitting up, bringing your foot back to the floor. I'm going to teach you about a breath technique that is very calming. It's called alternate nostril breathing. We'll do it for about 1 minute before we close with our rest pose to end our practice today. So alternate nostril breathing, it's looks a little bit funny in the beginning, but I think that you'll feel the effects of balancing out the right and left hemispheres of the brain. The research has shown this to us. So I'm not mirroring here, but the back of your left hand can be on your left knee. You might connect your thumb and index finger. With right hand, you'll take index and middle finger onto third eye. Take a big breath in and sigh it out. Again, take a big breath in. This time, close your right nostril with your thumb. Breathe out through left. Breathe in through left. You can close your eyes and just follow my words. Close left with ring finger. Breathe out right. That's 1 round. We'll do that twice more. Inhale right. Close with your thumb. Exhale left. Breathe in left. Close with ring finger. Breathe out right. 1 more round, then we'll sit for 1 minute silent meditation. Breathe in right. Close. Breathe out left. Breathe in left. Close. Breathe out right. Place the backs of your hands on your thighs. Feel free to sit here with your eyes closed for 1 minute before we end this practice today. Feel free to stay in this meditative posture as long as you'd like. I'm going to end today with a quote. Self-confidence is a superpower. Once you start to believe in yourself, magic starts happening. Thank you for joining me for this confidence-building yoga class today in the beautiful Dominican Republic. I hope you've enjoyed this view and enjoyed this experience. May you confidently move through the rest of your day. I'm Kim, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Namaste.